A lazy dog. Yeah. He was laid out flat a minute ago. He's soaking up the sun. But that's okay. We've got plenty of stuff to do. Namely this tractor here. So we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. We wanted to get to thermostat, but then we decided to also rebuild the steering box. So that's where we are. And I also decided that why not get this cleaned up and potentially meadow greenify it in there a little bit. I don't know how well that's gonna work. It's kind of hard to get to. I power washed the crap out of this yesterday, so I don't know. But anywho, my plan is, whilst that's all drying, both from brake clean now and from paint, we're gonna reseal this and have it ready to go in there. So yeah. All right, let's do the right thing and just rebuild this on the tailgate of the pickup to show you that that's possible. I even bought some brand new picks. See? The ones in the service truck are getting kind of crap. But basically, here is our lower seal, which is the culprit for why it's leaking. And if I was in a hurry, I would just replace that one and nothing else. Also, if you power wash things, be careful, because you will make a mess. And this thing got a little bit dirty in places I didn't want it to get dirty, but it was also covered with oil, so I had to do something. On a narrow front one, you can usually tell when they're leaking pretty bad because the center post isn't green anymore. It's covered with oil. So, sure enough, we'll have to really clean out the inside. Get that out of there so we can get that snap ring out of there. Or just make a mess, you know. Oh yeah, there's still oil in it. Should have thought of that. Didn't. It's okay. I don't like my tailgate to rust. Now, I was thinking that there was a hole in there that you could push it out with. Of course, now I need to get the better, a stronger thing, or longer. Yeah, there. See how easy it is when you aren't stupid and you remember? There we go. You don't need no air compressor. I do need something soft to lay this on though. Yeah, it got all it got dirty, unfortunately. So we'll clean that out of there better. We're gonna have to Oh yeah, there's an O-ring behind the lid too. Or the end cap, I should say. Let me go grab the flashlight. I think we're good. I just want to make sure that that's really clean. Looks pretty, but you can't see that because it's too dark. Oh, I got crap all over my glasses. Can't see. Gotta stop and tune them up. Oh, that's beautiful in there. It's even got cross hatching still, where it's been like honed. So I'm saying that probably I wouldn't have had to replace the piston seals, just the bottom one, but we're in it this far now, so that's what we're gonna do. This essentially is the same exactly both ways, in case you were worried about that. Should be a backup ring for the seal and an O-ring for a backup ring is what I'm trying to say, on both ends. So not sure what if there's white grease on it or what, but look at that, it's like it's turned white. I wonder if that's some type of chemical reaction to something I've done. Huh. Interesting. Anywho's, let's figure out what we got here. Those would be these would be these. There we go. We need some grease. Lots of grease we need. Okay. We should probably let that sit a little bit so that those things kind of go back to their shape. We've got several O-rings here yet to go. Number one would be this piston seal here at the bottom. Or not piston seal, but the pinion seal, I'm trying to say. And of course, We didn't get it. There we go. Get out of here, bee. All right. Let's get this cleaned off. Basically, it's got an O-ring on it. I think I'm going to go wire wheel this because somebody's done probably what I'm about to do too, and that's put a little bit of sealer around the lid also, you know, just because every little bit helps. And then we got this O-ring on this metal plug, and then that should do us. That should have every piece. Yeah. That'll do that. That's for the lid. I'll go wire wheel this and some other stuff. Bring some grease, and then we'll try to slide the piston back in there, and then you will be a while to come back, because what I'm going to do is paint that frame and probably the underneath of this, or all of this, or whatever I decide to do with this. And that can be drying whilst I go work on something else that I have to work on, because people are harping at me. So that's what we'll do. All right. We're gonna see what befalls us. Grease it up good. It does have a very nice taper in there, so it should start. He says, as it doesn't start. Meat hammer! Meat hammer! Nope. There we go. Oh, well, Mr. Silly Willy. That went a lot faster than I thought it would. Ooh, that'll be bad for it. Use caution when doing this so you don't cut the tips of your fingers off. I don't know if I need to say that, but I think we should be good to go. I don't, oh no. Well, friends, we've screwed up bad. That's just what I didn't want to happen, and it happened. Blue pieces, friends. So now we can start all over again. Yep. Well, Knutson friends, that's what happens when you get impatient. You do something stupid. And I have done something stupid. So, I'm guessing we're stuck now, because I don't have another steering kit, I'm fairly certain. I always try to keep some on hand, but I think I forgot to order them. And that blows the big one. And there's no point in putting this together and then yeah, I can't do anything else. But that's why you want to be careful and really not drive it in like I did, because impatience just cost me 4 or 5 days now of progress, where this has sawed that off. So awesome. Awesome. All right, I don't know how much of it you'll see, but we had a problem with the steering box. One of the piston seals got caught on the lip on its way in, and it sheared part of it off. So now I gotta wait on another steering seal kit. I try to keep more than one on hand for that very reason, but I must have not reordered after this summer when we did that 1850, or 2 summers ago, or I guess it's been a while. I'd really dropped the ball on that one and didn't reorder, but I ordered 3 of them right now, so they should be here in a couple days. And the positive side is that will give time for this to dry. I've painted inside there. Isn't that pretty? We're gonna paint the steering box. I'll flip it over and paint the other side. I just got it loosely put together to keep it clean. So I'll flip it over after a while, paint the top. And then all we got to do when we get the new kit is put the one blue ring on, and then just put the end cap on and put it back in here, and we're good to go. Not what I wanted, but that's the way it turned out. So I think what we'll do here in a little bit, I got to go do something else right quick because they're driving me nuts about it, but I'll go work on that. And then after a while, if it's still daylight enough, I guess we'll proceed with changing the thermostat and putting in that spacer, so we can have that all ready to go, where as soon as that blue ring comes, all we got to do is slap it in, put the steering box in, radiator in, and go. So let's go with that plan for now. All right, it's many days later. I did not intend for this to sit outside in what it sat outside in, but not much I could do really finally about it, because sadness, you know, the weather. I didn't have a whole lot of choice on what was going down. I also need to, let's get this back off of here. I did seal it up so I could paint it, and then that kept it, should have kept it mostly dry in here. There we go. Come on. All right. Let's get our we got to get it turned a little bit too, in addition to everything else. Coming. It should turn easy because the one side is in there. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now we're back to where we were before the failure happened, which was the blue piston seal got caught in the O-ring groove and sheared off part of it, which is a very common thing that can happen when you rebuild a hydraulic cylinder. It it sucks when it's a Sunday afternoon and you only had one kit left, you know. So I bought 3 more kits so we can mess up a lot of times, I guess, before sadness happens. Don't go in there. Oh, we're gonna struggle busting. Come on. We need to really wait a little bit. Wait a little bit and let that get shrunk down to its original size. It does have a very nice ramp in there, like, you know. All right, that time we might have it. We made it past the point where it left the chunk last time, so that's something. But I still feel like it's probably not quite right. There. Did we get it? I think we might have got it. No blue pieces of sadness this time. I think we might be good. It feels right. Feels right anyway. All right. Now, what we really need to do is put the end back together if we're confident, and I think we are. I think we're confident that that's sealed. We'll put the end back on, and then and need to clock it a little bit there so that we can drop that gear down in. There's a dot on there that has to line up with the center, otherwise it'll go farther, like it'll turn farther left than right or right than left if you don't watch what you're doing. Let's put this in. Yeah, that'll work. That fills in there right. Put this lock ring back in. Maybe. Or we'll bust our teeth out. That's fine too. Now the phone's gonna start ringing. Right about the time we're starting to make progress, friends. Okay, friends. We should be about as good as we can be, as in ready to put it back in the tractor. There we go. I thought it would be nice to keep you out of the weather, but obviously not. I don't remember how I did this. I think I need to actually go in with it with this down. If you had the grill off, it would be easier. Like a lot, in a lot of ways, easier. This isn't gonna work. Why is this Why is this playing mean to me? I think you gotta roll it in. You gotta roll it in there. Oh, I hope let me see there. I would love to make sure that that's really, yeah, see right there. What's that? Okay. I think it's okay. It's okay. But now I have to double check and make sure that my notch stayed where I put it, because otherwise, like I said, it'll turn wrong. So in order to do that, I really wish that was turned differently. Let me try to drop it in there with that right there, like that. I mean, that seems like where it needs to be, as long as my other piece didn't move. And that's what I don't know yet. 99% of people would just slap this together and not worry about it. But I want it to be the way that it's actually supposed to be. So I second guess myself a bunch. But most people, they would just hammer it home. And it's starting to look more and more like that's what I'm gonna do, because I ain't getting nowhere here. Why? You were just out of there. Why are you causing me all kinds of grief? Okay, come on. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, it's right there. Right there. So, I was right. It's right there. So as long as I get my dot lined up with that one, come on. We should be golden right there. But of course we got to find the socket back because it wandered off. All right, through the magic of YouTube, that is now tight. That, and the pin is in the brace hole, so we should be good to go. We need to put this plug in. Do not forget to put that lip up so that you can fish it out the next time, because sadness you will have. I promise you. And see, what you're working with against here is suction. Like O-ring trapping air underneath. I'm gonna put this on. Which this could be a trick slightly, because you have to get the steering box has to be centered on both pieces, top and bottom. If you have a lot of trouble and you think that your trouble is air, you could take that plug out of the center if that's really your trouble. But really, I think what's going to be more of your trouble is that it may not be perfectly centered. That may sound crazy, since the bottom of that gear protrudes through the housing, but it could be slightly kinked in a way that's not letting that play nice. So, you know what I'm saying. This isn't really the tool I want for this, but it's the tool I had. I need to go get the rest of the tools. Let's regret our life choices. Yeah, see how that brings the how that brought the steering box up a little bit, and that was our issue, because that's what the lid does. The lid holds the depth of your steering box. That's why it's so thick, everything in there, and that casting is really thick around here, because it's keeping the space. All right. All right. That's in. We need to put that shield in a minute. That little baffle thing. Let's put, see if we can put our lines back in. You know, we had a lot of trouble with this one, and we're going to have more trouble with it now, because the box is probably not exactly the right angle of where it was. I know that doesn't make sense, but the way this is made, the steering box kind of floats in here. It's not really 100% rigid, and that can be problematic in some instances. It's okay, we'll get it. I'm not a fan of line wrenches, if I didn't make that clear before in the last one. In theory, you would think that they were super duper and would do the job great, but in my experience, it seems like a line wrench will round over something quicker than anything else, and I don't really get how that can be. Getting very close. All right. We're gonna hope that does us one more time. That's probably the last time for that one, because it ain't going. All right, that is now in there. Now, before we proceed, we need to put that green baffle back in there that goes underneath of this. Of course, it's going to interfere with you. I'm pretty sure that went. Let me think about that a minute. Yeah, the green side went forward. The side with the foam was towards the radiator. Is that these? Looks like them. All right, let's see. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Actually, it wasn't. It was upside down. It was like this. That makes sense better. I was gonna say, I was thinking when we took it apart that the only thing that was hindering us from that lid was just a little bit, like just a slight thing, and it was frustrating because it was like, seriously, that's what's holding us back. Yeah, you're gonna be, unfortunately, kind of in the way. I can't see a lick with that sun in my eye. All right, unfortunately, you're out of battery and I'm out of energy, but I got this all in there. about as good as we're going to get for tonight. So there will be a third installment where we finish this and then tackle that thermostat, and then hopefully we're done with it. But we're going to have to leave this one here. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.